so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life, well, that's another, which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week to help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host, Brandon Beecham. I'm the reflection and extension of you who will be here each Wednesday interviewing a different consciousness changemaker. And on the other 4 weekdays, leading the way to ensure that your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, this episode of the Positive Head Podcast is being brought to you thanks to the support of Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online, and you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. All right, all you positive heads, welcome back to another episode. It is a magical Monday here in the studio as I record, and I am so blessed to have my dear friend, the lovely Sonya Sophia, here with me to help steer the ship this Monday. Hello, Sonya. How are you?
Hi, Brandon. Hey, everyone. So glad to be back.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and I always very much look forward to having you on to co-host and share some of your wisdom. And of course, for those of you who aren't familiar, Sonya runs the World Tapping Circle. And is a facilitator of EFT, emotional freedom technique, or tapping. And she's been coming on, you've been coming on for quite some time. Going close to a year now, maybe, where, you know, it's been so great. And I am a big proponent of tapping. And it was first introduced to Sonya at Burning Man Festival many years ago. And she's consistently had the biggest workshop at Burning Man for like years and years running, facilitating tapping and emotional freedom technique, which is this very simple exercise that we're actually going to do a sample of, or Sonya's going to lead us in here in a little bit. And it's just such a simple yet profound healing modality. So super grateful to always have, Sonya to come on. She's been coming on regularly for a while, maybe once a month or every couple months, and doing a little mini tap. And we're going to do that today. We're going to actually, and of course, we do these taps around certain maybe blockage points where you may have energetic blockages. And one of the things that has popped up, and what's great, of course, Sonya, about the show is there's always things that seem to sort of bubble up that are meant to get attention. And you had suggested to me today doing something about being authentic and being open and being your true self. And what's so funny is it just occurred to me, I've had it brought up to me twice in the last 24 hours, both related to acting. So my son is taking acting classes. And he just went to a first class yesterday, and he was like, oh, man, it was so opening to I realized the whole key is getting out of your head and just being fearless in being your authentic self and let the cards fall where they may. And I had this breakthrough in my class, and my teacher was sort of, blown away by my performance. And it all came from, realizing I'm holding back out of fear of judgment or things like that. So Sonya, not only did he have this experience, but I have another friend, Emma, who's a regular listener and a dear friend, and she's been talking to me for several months now. She's not even pursuing acting, but she's been going to this acting class, a totally different one, where the whole point is to do this exercise where you get up in front of everyone and I guess you sort of pick apart what you're seeing and feeling from the other person in this very vulnerable way that causes people to have like a major like breakthroughs right there in front of everyone and together, where it's like sort of all these emotional blockages are sort of being picked out by the collective, class. And she just keeps saying to me, and she had just said within the last day as well, I heard that first from Bradley, my son, and then from her, Brandon, you have to come to this acting class. Everyone, it doesn't have anything to acting is great, but it's every human should do this class because of the freedom and how it helps you to clear out all these walls and blockage. So it's so funny that you brought this up as your suggestion of what to talk about today, because this has been, bubbled up a lot for me in the last, 24, 36 hours.
Well, thank you, Brandon, for the opportunity. I think that we spend our whole lives trying to get comfortable with being ourselves. And the sooner we do that, the more free we feel, the more confident we feel, and the more our life aligns around who we are and not the projected persona of who we want people to think we are, or the thing that we're doing to try to get someone else's approval and acceptance and love.
Right.
That's always going to lead you down a dead end where you're going to have to like reboot and restart and apologize for basically pretending your way into the situation and now having to authentically dig your way out. So the younger you are when you learn to face yourself fearlessly and offer the world, excuse me, and offer the world an more authentic version of yourself, the more free and liberated you feel and the more fearless you become, right? So then you can really stand behind who you are, how you're behaving, how you're dressing, what you're saying, what you believe in, where you put your time, even the job you're doing, because it's aligned around you. And so I feel really excited about giving people more tools to be able to uncover their authentic self and release all of the reasons why they felt like they had to hide it in the first place.
Yeah. It's such a stripping away or removing layers of the onion that are sort of blocking who and what we are. And I think of the quote, and I can't remember, it might even be Buddha and I'm totally paraphrasing here, but it was something, to the effect of, spirituality is not learning necessarily about or awakening isn't necessarily about learning all these new things as much as it is stripping away all the blockages to your authentic self that are sort of have been put in the way, right? And that's the thing with both of these people who have come to me, one pursuing acting and one just going to a class, because it's such a powerful, exercise to how can I strip away the layers and just be this vulnerable, on display person who's just living from my complete authentic truth, and then seeing that will be met and accepted. You think of a lot of people in the you and I were actually going to do this last weekend, and that's the first time you mentioned even this concept as what we would do the show about. And I had told you, I was actually at my friend's house, my friend Marinette's house, and she had a Airbnb guest come who was a gay man and a very amazing human doing amazing things. He's actually going to be ended up recording. He was so amazing. In fact, I decided to do an impromptu interview with him. He's doing this whole reef wilding project, and people will hear about it in the forthcoming interview. But just an amazing soul. And he ended up there because his first Airbnb he went to, there was like some weirdness, and he thought maybe it had to do with his homosexuality. So there's a lot of people who sort of, especially who are not quote unquote normal, right? And queer, or, have some alternative lifestyle sexually that becomes like, a lot of repression and fear. And it's like when those people open up completely, it's like then you really start living. It's just one example, right, of areas where people can become really repressed based off of, just things that really old modalities that need to be burned at the stake, and allowing everyone to just be who and what they are. And that's really the only platform from where you can ultimately shine. If you're repressing, it's like you're giving the world a little fraction, a glimpse of who you are, not even close to your authentic power, right?
It's such a waste of potential and expression and creativity to dull ourselves down and only give what we think society will accept. And I think if everyone took off the preconceived idea of what a man was, what a woman is, what is sexuality, what am I supposed to be presenting as far as being affiliated with this group or this family, that we would see that normal has a much broader range than we've been led to believe, that there really is no normal. There's just a wide spectrum of experiences, that we have more in common with each other than we think, and that we're also we're all a little bit more strange and unique and wild and freaky than we think.
Right.
And when we give ourselves permission to be that, the world gets more colorful and interesting and creative and bright and adventurous. And the whole collective really benefits. That's, I think, why we're attracted to festivals such as Burning Man, because everyone just pulls out their freak flag. As a matter of fact, you only pack your freak flags.
Right. If you were dressed normal, you're going to feel weird. You know, it's like it's like the upside down from Stranger Things.
Right.
It's so true. And I heard someone say once, and I've said it before on the show, it'd be great if everyone could just on the count of three come out with like all their weirdest internal things that maybe they're repressing or hiding or haven't told anyone or they're embarrassed about. 1, 2, 3, there. And we all say it at once. And it's like, okay, cool. Everyone's a freak. We're good. Now let's operate from there.
You're describing what I do in these workshops and what we're doing, because it is 1, 2, 3, the safety numbers go, right? Even though I'm afraid of it. And then everyone blurts it out. And then we start looking around and laughing, being like, I can't believe that me and 500 other people are all afraid of being judged by the people here or any people. And I've seen entire cultures be suppressed by the fear of embarrassment. Entire cultures. So what would it do to liberate our culture if each person decided, at least in one aspect of their lives, whether it be their sexuality or the way they like to dress? Like some people like to wear bright colors, but they wear duller colors because they want to blend in. Like, what if we all just stood for, at least in one area of our lives, more of what actually brings us joy? Yeah. And is a turn on.
And really, that's the only way to truly be free. It's like until you're there and you're being your authentic self, fearlessly and, vulnerably, fearlessly, without any ultimate concern of the judgment of others, which is way easier said than done. I mean, that is the way to be your truest self and to channel in and to be happy. Yeah. And to see reflections in your reality of what you most want to see. It's, if you're being the most authentic, you're going to get the most authentic, powerful reflections back. And, as a result, like you said, be happy and be at peace in the best way possible, become the greatest and grandest version of yourself. As I like to put it.
Draw other people like you towards you. So if I'm pretending to be something, I draw other pretenders, and then we all pretend unhappily together, not to be
right.
Right. But if I'm actually being myself, then people more like me will find me, and we will stand stronger and more united together, and the whole culture changes.
Right. Absolutely. Well, is it a good time to do a little mini tap? I think so.
Yes, it is a good time to do a mini tap. And I want you guys to know that I actually did a full-length circle on this topic last week, and I've already posted it in the Facebook group. So if you look for The Courage to Be Yourself, you'll actually have a deeper dive in this, and you'll understand what we're doing in the World Tapping Circle. And just maybe you want to make that a part of your normal emotional self-care program that gives you strength and power and courage to just keep on coming on through.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that at the end, how you guys, if you enjoy. Well, first off, Sonya is gracious enough to come on and do a live tap here. Well, live with me, live with you when you're listening, right? Hearing this recorded back. And then also has posted on the Positive Heads Facebook group, is what she was just referencing. For any of you out there who aren't on the Positive Heads Facebook group, it is a wonderful place on Facebook where all the P heads are getting together and connecting and sharing and supporting each other and answering questions for each other. And, it's private so that you can really open up and not worry about, the world at large kind of reading all your personal stuff. But so you'll find the tap there from last week's World Tapping Circle. And then we'll do this mini tap. And of course, at the end, you'll share how people, if they want to do that regularly, which is every Monday live and direct with people all around the world, you'll share how people can do that. So,
right. Okay. So what we're going to do, if you haven't tapped with me before, the quick version is we're going to use our own two hands to stimulate the meridians, the electrical circuits of the body, to get your brain to rapidly process and be done with different fears and thoughts and beliefs and feelings that have been controlling you. And today's topic is going to be where you've repressed your ability to really be authentic and show who you are, either to your world, your spouse, your family, your kids, whoever. So I'm going to call the tapping points out. They're meridian points on the body. You're going to gently tap with one or two fingers lightly on these places around on your face and your upper torso and your hands. And you're going to just let your body discharge stored stress from the nervous system. And it can come out in many forms. Sometimes it's just realizations and relief. Sometimes it's tears. Sometimes it's laughing, burping, crying, yawning, waves of tingling energy coursing through your body because you're literally detoxing your brain from stored memory and learned behavior and getting yourself to rapidly move through this and then reset yourself in a way that makes more sense to who you really want to be. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out a place that you want to aim the session. So in the topic of being afraid to be your true self, think about a relationship where you're holding back or a group of people that you are afraid will judge you. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's people at work. Maybe it's your lover, your husband, your wife. But just think about one area where you know that you're not really comfortable yet expressing yourself, showing people who you are, being seen and being heard to be your true self. Remembering that you can come back and rewind this podcast and listen to this tap again and do it for another relationship. And you don't have to do them all at once. So get that in your mind, and this is going to be your issue, okay? You got an idea, Brandon?
I do.
Okay, good. So now when I say this issue, you're going to think about that topic, okay? Now think about how intense is this issue for you? How much fear is there about what they will think or what they will say or what they will do if you just let your freak flag fly to the next degree? Rate that intensity, rate that charge, the emotional charge on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is it's negligible, so I'd pick something else. And 10 is it's like incapacitating. There's no way. Okay? And just notice what that number is, and let's see if tapping makes a difference for you. I bet it will. All right, so now you're going to take two hands. You're going to put them on the front of your chest, find your collarbones, drop down 4 to 6 inches, pressing around in the front of your chest lightly with your fingertips, and massaging the front of your chest, feeling around for a tender spot there in the front of your chest. And give it a light massage, big deep breath, and strong exhalation. And if you have a lot of emotion moving while you're tapping, you're going to really use that strong exhalation to help release it. Okay? I'm going to give you some words, call and response. You say what I say. If what I'm saying doesn't make sense for your situation, you modify those words till it fits your scenario. Okay? We're going to go back and forth between the negative and the positive, and it's going to neutral it out so that you can actually feel calm and natural about expressing yourself as you are. Big deep breath, massaging those points, tuning into your issue. Repeating after me. Even though part of me is afraid, to show who I really am to, and then say whatever area to my boss, to my mother, to my sister, to my brother. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the eyebrow right where the eyebrow begins. Big deep breath, using one or two hands. This fear. Smooth down your eyebrows to the edge of your temple, right at the edge of your eye socket. Tapping gently. This fear about showing up as I really am. Big breath, tuning into that fear. And tapping the front of the cheekbones. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though part of me is afraid. Tapping under the nose. I'm afraid of how I might be perceived. And tapping under the lips on the chin, I'm afraid of how I might be judged. Tapping the chest. If I showed, and then say who it is you're hiding from, if I showed my parents, for example, who I really am, I'm afraid, and then say whatever that fear is for you. Are you afraid they'd kick you out of the family? Are you afraid that they would attack you? Are you afraid that they would laugh at you or judge you? Big breath. Big sigh. Tapping the front of the ribs, bottom of the rib cage where your ribs jut out the most in front. This fear. Say it again. What are you afraid their reaction is going to be? I'm afraid that they're going to react by doing what? And tapping the side of the ribs, side seam of the body. This fear. And tapping the inside of the wrist. So look down at your hand, flip your hand over, tap your wrist bone and straight across the inside of your wrist, right where your hand and your arm connect. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even if I stay afraid. And I want to hide myself for the rest of my life. Okay, tapping the side of the thumb. So turn your hand sideways like you're going to karate chop something, looking down at your thumb. Tap the side of your nail at the tip of your thumb. This fear of being seen as what? What are you afraid they're going to see you as? That they're going to see you as weak. They're going to see you as crazy. They're going to see you as gay. They're going to see you as too feminine, or they're going to see you as too masculine. What are you afraid of? Tap the index finger. I'm afraid. Say it again. What you think they're going to judge you as. Big deep breath. Tap the middle finger. I forgive myself for having to hide. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. A part of me is hiding in an effort to protect myself. Big deep breath. And tap the inside edge again of the little finger, right at the side of the fingernail. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself. Even though I've been taught to hide my authentic expression my entire life. Tap the bottom side of your hand where you would land a karate chop if you were going to karate chop something. Big deep breath. I've been taught to hide to fit in, to look good, and to be accepted. Tapping the top of the head. I've been taught to hide, to be accepted. Tapping the back of the head, the sides of the head. Tapping the eyebrows. Big deep breath, big sigh. I love and forgive myself. Tapping the temples, no matter how hard I've had to try to fit in and gain acceptance. Tap the cheeks. It's cost me so much. Tapping under the nose. So just tune in. How does it feel to have to hide yourself? It doesn't make you feel good, does it? It makes you probably feel like you're living a lie, or that you feel compressed, or like you've had to cut off parts of yourself. You're trying to mold yourself to be what someone else wants. Tapping under the lips, not feeling natural and relaxed and free. Big breath. And tapping the chest. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though a part of me doesn't feel safe to be who I really am around who. Big deep breath. Blurt it out. And tapping the front of the ribs. This stress of watching what I say, watching what I wear, watching what I do, watching what I talk about. Tapping the side of the body, the side seams. If you were wearing a bra, I always say this is where your bra strap would go across, nipple height, side seam of the body, tuning in again. This stress of having to watch what I say, how I behave, and what I let them know about me. Big, deep breath. Tap the inside of the wrist. Even though I'm terrified that if they found out that I was into what? What is it? Unicorns? Sex? What is it that you're afraid that they're
Unicorn
find
sex?
Out? Tap the side of the thumb. Even though I'm afraid they might find out that I like what? Opera? Tap your index finger. I love and accept myself. Tap the middle finger again, tuning into that pain. Now we have to touch it if you're going to let it heal. You can't be thinking about other things right now. So tune back in to the stress that you're feeling. Because every time you tune back in with love, it changes it. It releases it. You have to touch it with love for it to heal. And the tapping is getting your body to go along for the ride and let this be done. Tap the bottom of your fourth finger. This remaining fear about being myself in front of who? Tap the little finger. A part of me is afraid to even let myself know who I am and what I'm really about. Tap the side of the hand. I deeply and completely forgive myself for hiding from myself my authentic expression. Tapping the top of the head. I'm allowing myself to relax, giving myself more freedom and permission now. Big, deep breath, tapping all around your hair. And eyebrows. It's safe for me to be myself. Tap the temples. Now, just for fun, we're going to say the opposite. It is not safe for me to be myself yet. And tap the front of the cheeks. What if it were more safe than I realized? Big breath. And tapping under the nose. It's possible that the more relaxed I am, the more people will be relaxed about me as well. Tapping under the lips. I'm allowing myself the possibility of accepting myself, including, and then say what it is that you're afraid of again, including my desire to wear silk and run through the streets flying a rainbow-colored flag. Tap the chest. I'm releasing my fear of being myself, speaking my truth, and showing up as I really am inside. Tap the front of the ribs. I'm open to the possibility of feeling safe. Tap the side of the ribs. Included. Tap the inside of the wrist. Switch hands if you can. I'm open to the possibility of feeling respected. Big breath. Tap the side of the thumb, maybe even admired for my courage to be who I am. Tap the index finger. I forgive myself for learning to hide Tap the middle finger. Now I'm willing to correct that. Big, deep breath. We're almost done. Stay with me. Bottom of the fourth finger. I'm allowing myself the possibility of releasing this fear of being judged or laughed at, of being kicked out or left out. Tap the little finger. I'm releasing this feeling of being threatened in any way by being my authentic self. Let's say that again. I'm releasing the fear of being threatened in any way about being my authentic self. Tap the side of the hand and breathe. And tap the top of the head. I'm allowing this to be more fun and easy than I thought. Tap the eyebrows. I'm allowing this to be simple. Tap the temples. Real. Tap the cheeks. And natural. Tapping under the nose. I love who I am. Tap under the lips. I release the need to judge myself or try to fit in. Tap the chest. It's safe to be me. Tapping all over the body. It's safe to be me now. It's safe to be me. Big, deep breath. So let's do a little check-in. Check in and see what your original issue was. Do you remember? And ask yourself, has the intensity, the emotional charge dropped around this issue? For most of you, I think the answer will be yes. For some people, it temporarily escalates because you underestimated how intense this really was to begin with, and you were just kind of numb to it. So as it defrosts, you actually feel the intensity, what's really back there. You might need to do this section, this tapping bit again, or jump into the Facebook page and do the full deep dive on this topic. And remember that you can bookmark that video and come back to it again and again. Thank you, Brandon. How do you feel?
Awesome. I feel wonderful. Thank you so much. And just to add to that, guys, probably a good time to explain what you do every week with World Tapping Circle, and that is taking a different topic like this, and it's a live group with people all over the world in the tap, and Sonya leads the group through. Here's the topic of the night, and it's every Monday night that you do it live?
Yep. It's 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Gotcha. And then of course, so you join the World Tapping Circle and you get access to all the live taps and also the archive of all the past taps, which it's a big archive now. You've been at this a while, right? How long have you been doing the World Tapping Circle? 4
years of broadcasting and about 15 years of holding live circles in person.
Wow. And there is such an energy that's created from having it live, on video. All these other people are a part of it energetically. It's kind of like recreating, the same experience that is, drawn the biggest workshops at Burning Man. It's all the people in the same space doing it together, and it just creates this ripple effect. I mean, this is powerful to do it one-on-one on a recording like this, but, the live effect, guys, is amazing. And Sonya has been gracious enough to offer Positive Head listeners a discount if you want to join the World Tapping Circle. And it depends whether you do, the monthly or the yearly, or you can even get certified as a EFT practitioner, leading these taps the same way Sonya does. All these options, anywhere from about 30% on average, the discount that you've offered the Positive Head listeners. Sonya, is that right? Yeah. So if you go to worldtappingcircle.com/positive head, you can see all of the gracious discounts that Sonya has offered for you guys. And of course, she'll continue to do these mini taps from time to time here on the show that are absolutely free. She just posted one for free on the Facebook group. And then you also have a special workshop coming up as well, correct?
That's right. I'm doing something unique for the Valentine's weekend because the theme of love just gets really stirred up, and it can be kind of triggering for people who have just exited a relationship or feel like they're kind of tender from their last one, and others who are hopeful in new relationships, and we're all on some kind of circuit or wanting to refresh and go deeper in relationships they already have. And
or you don't have one, or if you don't have a relationship and it's sort of, you feel left out for that holiday, right?
Exactly. And then the question is, well, why don't I? And then those issues come up. It's like, well, I'm still mad at my last boyfriend or girlfriend, or I still don't know if I can trust people. And so this 2-hour tapping experience is called Healing the Heart. And what we're going to do is bring forgiveness to the past, wherever we're still snagged, wherever a piece of our heart still feels like it's been broken or it's mending. And it actually doesn't have to take years and years to get over someone or to get over your fear of connecting with people. It could actually take just a couple of hours of some real work. But if you only do a few seconds of that per month or per year, it could take years. But if you just sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to go in and see where I've held back and why. I'm going to bring a lot of love and empathy and kindness and compassion to myself, and maybe even forgive some people that hurt you or did you wrong, not because they deserve it, but because you need your energy back and you need your whole heart back. It can be very liberating emotionally and energetically for you and every other person involved, and let people just relax and open up and move on and learn to love again. And loving is a process. It's an evolution. It's not something that you do and then you're done. It's something that you're constantly updating. And even if you're in a long-term marriage, there are little things that can happen that put little calluses on our hearts, and we can get in there and scrub it out and then have that beautiful, innocent, exciting love again that we had when we didn't have any boundaries or walls up that were keeping other people out.
Right. Wonderful. Well, and you also have this special event listed on worldtappingcircle.com/positivehead as well, correct?
Yep, Healing the Heart. It's $25 live stream access on February 15th, 7:45 p.m. Central, 5:45 p.m. Pacific. And you get a replay video as well, comes to you, so you can do it again and again. And what a fun way to bring someone into your life on Valentine's week and say, hey, let's do this thing together.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love it. Mm-hmm. I love the alternative approach to the holiday that's like, okay, let's take this thing and let's spin it in a way that creates healing for, there's the both sides of the coin always, right? You have all the people who are ecstatic in their relationships and love on one side of the coin, expressing that on Valentine's Day. And then there's always, there is no up without down. And there's the other side of the coin, people who are hurt and out of a relationship or don't have the one they wish they had, or, whatever the story is. So I love the idea of using that time in that week to actually address those people and help bring love, right? Self-love to those people. Why, because while the rest of the world is, focused on the other side of the coin, if that makes sense. So I applaud that whole idea and the timing of it.
Thank you. I also want to say there's a secret little bonus. If you go to the World Tapping Circle /positivehead page and you click on the Healing the Heart workshop, at the bottom of that page, you're going to get a little mini tapping session called How to Receive Love. And that's on there just, again, to give you another experience of what's possible. I think people think that it's a lot harder to heal this stuff than it really is. And I want you to know how little time it actually takes and how refreshing it is when you get rid of some of these old, bumps and bruises. You can have a liberated, resilient heart that is fearless to love and fully self-respecting yourself and entering into relationships like, this is who I am. This is what I'm into. I like cats. I like unicorns. I like to meditate. I like to skinny dip. I like to make love like this. I'm into, and then you just start a relationship from that point. What would that be like?
Totally. Yeah. And I think a lot of people who haven't really done this sort of work are not aware of the fact that emotions are stored. These emotional blockages are stored in the body. I had another a friend that brought up recently doing Rolfing, which is, a deep tissue massage, and how all of a sudden it unlocked all this emotional stuff that they didn't realize. All of a sudden they're crying, and like, because there's these emotions are stored. And so tapping is doing the same thing. It's like, it's finding, the meridians, the little locations where the emotions are stored as you address them. And that's why, having done this originally at Burning Man for, in live workshop settings, you see people crying and screaming out, and a lot of things that are just coming out from these, relatively simple exercises. So it's truly, truly powerful. And I encourage all you guys to explore it further. And I hope this mini tap was, a good little taster, but it truly is just a taster. So if you guys want to dive deeper, go to worldtappincircle.com/positivehead. And with that being said, we had a little bit of a cool synchronicity this morning where we were trying to figure out what song to play. And I asked you, Sonya, if you had heard this artist, and you're like, hold on. At first you're like, no. Sonya was like, no, I don't know who that is. And then she goes, hold on. Is that an Australian singer? I started describing a little bit about her. She's like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for the name of this artist for 5 years. And I know why you're looking, because she is absolutely amazing. And with this song that I'm leaving you with, now Sonya knows the name and can enjoy, because she's been looking for a very long time. It's Dea Dova. And the song is The Winged One. Yeah, she full on like channels her. I've seen her actually perform at Burning Man and a couple other places, and she full on like channels her music. It's like from beyond, and I think she says that too. It's like, so
I could feel
very, very powerful
goosebumps. And I told Brandon when he gave me a little clip of it here, I was like, that's like sacred geometry for the ears.
Yes, totally. Well, Sonya, you are so lovely, and I also look forward to, Sonya lives down in Austin, where I'm going to be actually staying with Sonya when I go to speak at the Conscious Media Festival. So if any of you guys are coming to Austin for the Conscious Media Festival, of course, just to throw that out there as well, you can get tickets with the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, and hopefully working on something to see if we can get Sonya there as well. And so you'll be able to hopefully meet her in person, and certainly meet me in person. So hope to, Sonya, I look forward to just spending some FaceTime with you and staying with you and everything like that here in March 2nd through 4th is when that is. So
me too. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's wonderful. Hope you guys have a magical Monday. Thank you, as always, Sonya. Until next time, everyone, journey well. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.